legs in the bent tent position with the arms down by your sides. And we'll take a breath out and just draw the right knee in towards the chest and raise the forehead towards the knee. And then breathing in, stretching the foot up towards the sky as you take the arms back behind the head. Breathing out, gathering the knee back in towards the chest, head rolling towards it. Breathing in, foot and head come back down again. And then we're going to breathe out and draw the left knee in as the head comes up to meet it. Breathing in, stretching the foot towards the sky, stretching the arms back along the floor behind the head. Breathing out, giving that knee another hug. And then breathing in, head and foot come back down again. So let's just come into that rhythm of moving from one leg to the other, stretching out the arms back behind the head, stretching through the fingers, the toes on the in-breath, and then curling up to your center on the out-breath. Just giving the core muscles a gentle squeeze, and then stretching out and releasing the core on the in-breath. Just noticing how the feet, how the knees, how the hips, the arms and the shoulders and the legs are feeling this morning. Just taking your time, moving mindfully with your breath. And finding the right breath for the movements. Feeling that you're beginning to build up a little bit of heat in the body. Let's just do one more round on each side. Really warming up those joints. And then as your left foot comes down, just pausing here for a moment. Then we're going to do our little hip rotations now. So with the hands on the belly, elbows relaxed by your sides, relaxing the shoulders. Just moving the feet a little bit further apart so that the knees can come inwards when you breathe in, and then they move outwards when you breathe out. You're breathing in, the knees are coming inwards, so just shuffling the feet outwards a little bit, coming onto the soles of the feet, breathing out, shuffling the feet again so you can roll onto the outer blades of the feet and the knees go wide. And then you can bring in the arm movement as well. So as the knees come in towards one another, the arms come back along the floor again behind the head. As you breathe out and move the knees outwards, the hands come back down again onto the belly. So let's just continue doing another 3 rounds, just gently feeling how that movement is in the legs, the feet, the hips, as well as the shoulders and the arms, and the sides of the ribs and the spine. And then when you've done your 3 rounds, just coming back to your center. Let's just draw the knees again in towards the chest and wrap your arms around them and gently rock and roll from side to side, just easing out any tension in the spine. And we're going to place the feet back down again onto the mat, and this time we're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest and catch hold of the foot with your right hand and keep holding on to the knee with your right hand. And we're just going to explore a little movement just doing a kind of circular movement or sideways movement with that knee and foot, just to try and think about those muscles around the back of the pelvis and in the buttock that can get very tight. So this is a good one for you, Joy, and anybody else who suffers with sciatica. And we're thinking about the piriformis muscle, which you might begin to feel tightening a little bit as you move the knee from side to side or forwards and back or in towards the chest. And when you can feel a little twinge in the buttock, that's probably the piriformis muscle. And this is what gets very tight around the sciatic nerve. So you're just very gently stretching that out. And then we're going to lower the side of the ankle onto the thigh of the left leg and just gently rest your right hand on the inner right thigh and your left hand on top of the left hip. And just pause here for a moment, just taking 6 breaths, breathing in, nice long full breath in, breathing in that life light. As you breathe out, send that breath down through the right side, through the right hip, into the knee, and very gently ease that knee away from you, but without forcing or straining. Let's just do another few breaths. Just gently easing that hip open. You might want to practice the Ujjayi breath. Just find the right breath. And you can either stay here or you can draw the left foot now towards you, lifting it away from the mat, inserting your right arm through that gap between the legs and clasping the hands around the shin, rolling the head up to meet the left knee. Keep your right elbow out, so that's keeping the right knee outwards. And just each time you breathe out, squeeze the navel in. See if you can draw the head and the knee a little bit closer towards one another. And as you breathe in, just draw in that life light. Now you might begin to feel a little bit of intensity around here. Just breathe softness into that area or lighten what you're doing. Remember, you're the best person to know what's right for you. Let's see if we can stay for another couple of breaths. Just gently closing that gap between the head and the left knee and the right foot and shin. And then when you're ready to, breathing in and lowering the legs back down again and releasing the top leg and placing it back down again onto the mat. And then just taking a moment just to take a couple of refresher breaths in and out, just letting everything settle. And then we're going to draw in the left knee, supporting the foot with the right hand. And again, just making those little movements across the body, a little bit closer in towards the chest, just finding where you feel that little twinge in the piriformis, like almost like a little buzz. And then when you've got it, you know that's there, and just gently stretch it out a little bit more, but without forcing or straining. You're just aware of where it is. And then placing the side of the ankle down onto the right thigh, again resting your hand just lightly on that inner left thigh, left knee, and the right hand on top of the right hip. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the jaw and the face. Just staying here for up to 6 breaths, just gently easing that hip, that knee further away from you each time you breathe out. Gently opening up that hip. Feel that you're breathing that life light into that left hip, left leg, each time you breathe out. Just observing any differences on this side. Noticing whether it feels particularly tight on this side or a little bit looser than the right side. And just gently stretching out that piriformis muscle. And then when you're ready to, after your 6 breaths, you have the option of lifting up the right foot now, clasping the hands lightly around the shin, and coming up into that coiled-like position. Just staying here, just gently keeping that foot flexed, the left foot flexed, being aware of what's happening in your left hip. Gently squeezing in the navel each time you breathe out. Filling yourself up with that life light each time you breathe in. Just checking you're not holding any tension in that right shoulder. Just taking another full breath in and out if you can. And then when you're ready to, releasing back out of the pose, releasing that top leg, and just stretching out the legs now along the mat, arms down by your sides. Let's have a big stretch as we breathe in, floating the arms up and back along the floor behind the head, easing the feet further down the mat. Have a good stretch. And then breathing out, releasing and coming back into your pose of tranquility. And just taking a couple of refresher breaths here. And then we're going to either rock ourselves forward, so just draw the knees back in towards the chest, or roll onto one side and come up onto all fours. So you might want to take your socks off, and you might want to have a little bit of padding underneath the knees. So let's come on to all fours. And just be aware of those points of balance along the back of the body that we've been thinking about the last few weeks. The back of the head, the back of the heart, and the back of the sacrum, the back of the mid-pelvis. And gently root down through the hands, spreading out the fingers, stacking the shoulders over the wrists or slightly behind them, knees stacked beneath the hips. Just taking a couple of breaths here, just thinking about those 7 magnificent 7 chakras within you, from the root chakra all the way up to the crown. And then as you breathe out, just very gently roll the head down, tilting the chin towards the chest, tucking the tailbone forwards, arching the spine. And then as you breathe in, just very gently lifting the head and the tailbone without jerking or straining those ends of the spine. Let's just do a couple more of the moving cat. Gently warming up the spine. Feel like you're drawing in that life light from the crown of the head all the way down to the tailbone. And send it out to all those different points of the pose. And then next time you breathe out, just come down into the swan pose. Just stretching out those muscles in the back a little bit more, sinking down towards the heels. Stretching out the feet and then coming back up again on the in-breath. So let's just do a couple more rounds, moving from the cat into the swan. Sinking all the way down towards the earth, gently growing the breath and growing the movement. One more time. And And just stretching those arms forwards a little bit more. And then we're going to do our little side stretch now. So we'll breathe out and walk the hands as far over to the right side as you can, resting the left hand on that right hand. And just very gently rotating the left shoulder a little bit more towards the sky. Feel a bit more of that stretch in the left side. And then on your in-breath, walking the hands back so that they're ahead of the shoulders, stretching forwards a little bit more, and then breathing out, walking the hands over to the left side. Right hand now onto the left hand, and gently again tilting the heart a little bit towards the sky, looking between that space between the arms, feeling that stretch along the right side, and then walking the hands back to center again. Then we're going to breathe in and come back up onto all fours, rooting down strongly through the hands and the legs and lightly through the tops of the feet. We're going to come into our balance now. So we're going to take a breath in and root down through the right hand and the left knee and stretch out the right arm and the left leg. And be aware of those 2 points of balance now on the earth. And then breathing out, lowering hand and knee down and stretching out the opposite sides. So feel that you're growing that back leg and that front arm away from each other. And let's just do that one more time. Just being aware of how the legs and the arms feel, how strong they feel today, building up your warrior strength. And just reminding yourself that you can balance. And then to come back and just take another moment just to rest down in the swan pose. Just taking a couple of breaths here.